And all right, so we are recording, so I'm going to share my screen. I want to do a very quick introduction and the why we're doing this retraining. Maybe 90% of what we're going to tell you, this will not be new for you. A lot of this we've addressed individually. We have, and between calls and emails and training, a lot of you folks on right now have done come with experience. So maybe a lot of it will not be new, but it's very important. As we all are aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a shift in our business, and with that, we've had to adapt to the new, the correct word would be expectations of our customers, because they're now more cautious and as to cleaning and what's happening in their facilities. So we're going to be discussing a few things. We're going to address in general from business planning and to our expectations moving forward with inspections, and in the end, what we're trying to accomplish is obviously address the new concerns that our customers have, and also have the perception when our customers go to our janitor closets that they're seeing a professional cleaning service. So and I'll be addressing that individually. So with that, I'll get started. If you have any questions, I'll open them for questions. So if you have any questions, write them down, and then we'll address them towards the end. Do me a favor, could you, Monica here, call her and just tell her to join to hit the link that I sent her. I'm just sorry, guys. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get this started. So the scope of work, that's our Bible when it comes to cleaning, as many of you know. It's what we guide ourselves with training. So I want to pull here our scope of the new scope of work which is with the new TotalWorks. Now we have now upgraded our janitorial service to cover high touch points and other areas of concern. And so moving forward, we'll have a different scope of work. It's not that different from the older one, but there are some key differences and some additions that I think is very important. And I'm going to go over them briefly. I had it here open, so let me see where it's at. It's hiding, so give me 1 second, and I'll put it here right quick so I can share it with you guys. It is very simple. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna share this over here. And if you're seeing the screen, I want you to notice a lot of what you're seeing here, like dusting and spot cleaning, desks, display units. A lot of this is standard for our janitorial service. Now, what we are including now is cleaning, disinfecting of microwaves, eating areas, and we're not just the difference, and we'll go into detail in a little bit, and as to sanitizing and disinfecting, but we're also upgrading. We have to upgrade also the chemicals that we use to a hospital grade disinfectant. So some of these items would be at times addressed on a weekly basis. We're now upgrading to every day, or the customer can choose a different plan, maybe doing certain items 3 times a week. So if you see here, this is our base scope of work. This is the ones that you've always seen from us, but now we're upgrading to SaniCare and SaniWorks. This is what we're now offering our customers. And it was designed based on obviously the needs and the reality that we're living now with the COVID-19. So very briefly, the accounts that currently have our service, their grandfather or they'll inherit the current service. So there's not going to be a change there. But moving forward, there's new areas that we're going to be disinfecting with on a daily basis. So some areas that before we would only do once a week, we now might need to be required to do them every day. Some of those high touch points that we will discuss in a little bit, Now, don't get scared. That also is good news because it means that obviously there's going to be an increase to allow more time to get these areas. So because I've in conversations that I have, people have been concerned about that. So don't worry. This is obviously being factored into the billing, and you'll see some increase. So in reality, this is good news for us because now we're pretty much making more money, and that's why we're here, right? To grow our business. Some accounts, for example, Slajana in here in Tampa, one of our accounts, Nomadic Scale, they did the increase because they had a lot of concerns. They were bringing employees back, and they wanted to increase the level on disinfecting and sanitation of their building. So they upgraded to SaniWorks. So now every day of service we go, we touch all those high touch points. So this is just an example, and I'm going to be sending this via email. I'm not going to go through every single detail because I'll be here till 5 p.m. But I'm going to send this, so you're going to focus on the areas that are blue. There, if you see here, there's a part that's black, and then there's a part that is blue. So the blue areas are pretty much the things we're going to be increasing. So for example, we're also going to be offering disinfecting like the keyboards and mice, the exterior of the coffee machines, all these really high touch point areas. It's going to be included now. If you see here false, it's we copied this from our what we call our bid sheet, so it populated as false, but that's not, I'll be deleting that. So I just want you guys to take a look at this and familiarize yourself, because when we get new accounts, this will be some of the areas and new expectations that our customers will have moving forward. And again, all this is being factored, all this is being adjusted to the price, so you're not working the same and more. We're all obviously receiving an increase, which is good for you guys. All right. So with that said, I'm going to move to the next point out of our discussion today, and will be minimal requirements. So obviously, with this increase, we do require it's going to require some tools, not some tools, a variety of tools. So with the SaniWorks, and if you give me 1 second, I'm going to pull here a list that I'm also going to be sending to you guys via email as to the minimal requirements. So I'm going to be sending this spreadsheet, and in here, everything that's highlighted in yellow will be what we understand are minimal items that you need to have as part of your tools to be able to be compliant with the SaniWorks. So a lot of this, again, this is probably for a lot of you, this is old news and you're familiarized with it, but this is something very important. We're going to, as part of our inspections, we're also going to be inspecting the janitor closets to make sure that we're being compliant, because obviously our customers are paying for that level of service. So we need to make sure that that their tools are there to complete that. Now, a lot of you have multiple sites. Obviously, those will be evaluated differently. Let me mute it. And the volume too. Sorry for that. All right. 1 second. All right. Sorry for that, guys, for those technical difficulties. So we to continue. So a lot of these things are pretty standard: mop handles, mop heads. But if you see here, there's a difference in color. We are going to be requiring color-coordinated mops, obviously to avoid cross-contamination, which we'll be discussing further on. A lot of, again, I think with a lot of the franchise owners, we have discussed this. So we are going to require, obviously, to have a mop for general areas and then a mop just for bathrooms. If you please make sure to mute your phone. That way we avoid some of that background noise. Thank you. Brooms, dustpans, dusters. I'm going to be sending you this, and this is a good tool because if you start an account, you take this list, because we can, we're human, we forget. There's a number of items to obviously be able to service correctly our facility. So I'm going to give you this. We expect for you to print it out. So every time you have a startup, you could kind of go over the different items that you need. The ones that here that are not highlighted, maybe it's because maybe that facility does not need these items necessarily. But if you have like a big hallway, but obviously you need a dust mop that's larger, or maybe an area that doesn't have water, you may have to consider flat mops. That would be depending on the facility. Again, if you guys have more questions about this directly, you can call us, email us directly, and we'll spend more time and kind of go over these things. But I'm also going to be sharing you this, but just you know, as an overall, we are going to require, these are the minimal requirements for us to be compliant with the scope that now we're offering to our customers. So I want to continue. Also, if you have questions, you can use the chat. There is an available chat that you can hear in the Ring Central, and you could just share any questions that you may have. All right. Okay, let's continue. Sorry, I'm doing a presentation. Everybody wants to call me. Okay, so business plan. This is very important as well. And I'm going to show you a page here real quick. If you give me 1 second. We're also going to be sending this to you guys. I don't know if everybody's seeing this. It's our business plan. And with this, and I'm going to review it very quickly, is when you receive a new account, you need to have a plan of action and how you see the account. Obviously, you know, we give you the numbers, the scope of work, but when you walk the account, you should have already an idea for the franchise owners that are more seasoned of what you need. So equipment, this is going to be updated. This is current in need. You won't see this in the future. This is going to be updated. But let's say you have a gym, and you have part of the gym is it's a large area. You might need a walk behind scrubber. What materials you're using, the SDS that you'll be using. So we'll be sending this, and obviously this will be for bigger accounts, more accounts that need more attention. We want to understand that when we offer your account, we're not going to give you an account for you to fail. We want to give you guys accounts that you succeed. So for us to know that is for you guys to just give us an idea of how you intend to service this account with materials, and this goes through a different set of questions that help us, you know, evaluate if maybe this account is good for you. There's different levels of cleaning. You have from simple office cleaning to gyms to clinics and daycares. They all require a different level of cleaning, and it's very important that we know that you can handle this. We offer you training, but we're not going to put you in an account, $7,000 account that has really high requirements, and you still may be a franchise owner that still, or you know, that needs more experience, or it's that account maybe not the one for you. So we'll be taking this to evaluate that and see that you can handle those accounts. Obviously, eventually, you know, Alexis and myself, we're here to train with you guys. As you guys know, a lot of you will spend many evenings, you know, at the different locations, and we're here to make you guys successful. So I'm going to be sending this as well. You know, there's some key questions here on how you intend to train your new cleaners or your new staff members. This is really critical because we've had a lot of issues where the franchise owner would hire a cleaner, shows them the location, and then just leaves them be. And then we obviously with that you will see a number of issues. So it's recommended to spend 3 days to a week, depending on the level of experience of that person, just the necessary time until that person obviously can handle the account on its own and it's you know, complying with all the items in the scope of work. So we'll be sending this. It's very important for you guys to, before you take an account or you say yes to an account, to have an idea of what you're really stepping into. And this questions help you address all those items before you say, yes, let me go in. Wait, okay, so what's my plan of action? And all these questions kind of help you, guide you through that decision. And obviously you'll also have our coaching as well. So you'll be seeing this as well moving forward. I want to take a quick pause and ask if anybody has a question before I continue. Okay, so I take it as a no. Everybody hearing me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. So let's continue. Um, Obviously, customer and OpenWorks expectations. So I think with our training, we specifically those who train with me, they know that I'm very particular with this subject individually. With this, a lot of our work has to do a lot with perception. So we not only clean, but we also have to present ourselves correctly. We in the end, this is the service industry, so we're here to satisfy obviously a need, and it's our job to, from the cleaning to the customer treatment, that our customers feel satisfied. So and again, a lot of this we go over the training. I specifically
Yeah, I got it.
dedicate a lot of time.
And you're not the only one. Earlier, I got another franchisee calling.
1 second, sorry.
And I send it.
Alexis, you're on the meeting.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
So guys, I apologize for that. We're district managers, so I am training, but at the same time, you know, we're managing accounts and they don't stop. So we apologize for that. It's a little different from other trainings. You know, we continuously work. So even though I might be training, but we're still getting calls nonstop. So I apologize for that. But let's continue. This point specifically here, it's about being proactive. This is what's really going to set you apart in the level of service, is to look at, you know, when you have an account or you're servicing an account, to be proactive, not wait for the customer to complain. Be proactive, you know, instead of you know, I see a lot of times franchise owner would put a cleaner on site, and they'll wait for the customer to make a complaint to then take action to make corrections. The way you're proactive is obviously you do your inspections, you do surprise visits, you spend time with your cleaners. You go after they're done to check, and then that's being proactive and ensuring that that overall service is consistent. So being proactive, don't be reactive. Don't wait for complaints. Don't wait for the customer to point things out. You point them out. You take that time to dedicate to your account. That way, because in the end, productivity results in satisfaction. Because why? Because the customer, you know, doesn't have the need to address issues, as well as following up with them, calling them, by our agreement, all franchise owners are supposed to visit their accounts at least once a month. That is very key to continue, you know, with that relationship, ensure customer satisfaction. And that brings me to my next point, which is communication. If you don't visit your accounts, you don't talk with them, you don't do your inspections, or join us, the district managers, in our inspections, then you're going to leave room for miscommunication and mistakes. A lot of times, and I've seen this a lot. I've been in accounts where the cleaning is not 100%, but there's such good communication, such a good relationship, that franchise owner has that account for years. So the relationship aspect of our business is very crucial for our success, because yes, one, we have to provide excellent service, but at the same time, you have to build that personal relationship with your customer. And the way you do that obviously is performing well, being proactive, supervising your area, even supervise yourself, because we're humans. So you're done cleaning an area, supervise your own area. Be proactive. Don't wait for things to pop up to then address it, because then the customer feels like they need to continuously follow up on your issues. That's what they're paying for us and for you to be on site, is so they don't have to worry about those things. And when they have to get too involved with that, that's when you start seeing a change of service. So communicating effectively with your customers. Again, I know we all come from different backgrounds. Some people come with a background that has a very strong customer service. Others don't. That's why our, Alexis and myself are here. If you don't know how to address a particular issue, just reach out to us, and we'll guide you through. But eventually, we expect for you to take eventually full control of that communication and the proper care of that customer. And again, we've talked about this, so I'm going to move to my next point, which is practicalness. Will be janitor closet, and I think there might be a bit of a typo here, so I apologize for that. So I'm going to share this with you. I apologize. Let me do this here real quick. Let me switch this here. And I don't know if everybody here is seeing this page here. So this is janitor closet. Your janitor closet is your office. When you open a janitor closet, that's your area. This area here, particular janitor closets standards, it's going to be something moving forward that we're going to be more strict when we do our inspections. Huh?
And the reason for that? The reason for that is because the competition try to take customers from you and from us. They open the janitor closet in front of the customer and try to find any negativity there and against us. And every company has lost accounts for customers because the janitor closet. We have lost. Previous company that I used to work with lost accounts for that. So if you are proactive in this aspect, you are shutting the door against your competition to try to take the account from your hand.
Mm-hmm. So as you know, just to reiterate what Alexis just said. Let me put this up because that was okay. There we go. The first thing, and I do this myself when one of our sales representatives our AEs, when they go to an account and we go with them, something I do personally, the first thing I do is go to the janitor closet. So if they're using Fabuloso and Clorox, Lysol, and I know they are not using a commercial grade cleaner. Guys, if you don't, I'm gonna please ask to make sure you have your phone muted. There's a lot of background noise.
And also the appearance of the janitor closet.
And yes, like Alexis said, the appearance. So if you open a janitor closet, that speaks on how the facility is being cleaned and treated. So disorganized janitor closet, dirty. You know, if you can't even keep that area clean, what tells the customer that the rest of their building is being kept clean correctly? This is very important. We've lost accounts because the sales representative from another cleaning company goes in, they find disarray, and that right there just opens the door for us to lose accounts. Our goal is to have retention, so we have lasting business for years to come. But it all starts something as simple as keeping your janitor closet in. This is something that I see a lot. You know, when we go to a janitor closet, the mud bucket it'll have dirt, it'll have dirty water, it smells. This is not good, and it's not professional. And we require, you know, our franchise owner and U.S. partners to inspect this area, keep it clean. If you need help or organizing, again, that's why Alexis and myself are here. And we'll guide you and help you in making sure that these areas are staying clean. Don't leave, this is a very big one. Never leave a mud bucket overnight. Never. You know, the last thing that you want is, a lot of times if the janitor closet is shared sometimes with building maintenance. So they open the door and the first thing they'll see is a black, bucket of water. That just sends the wrong message, and that right there opens doors for us to equipment not updated, the mop, you know, all hairy. I mean, you look at that and you know, again, we've lost accounts because of that. They'll see a dust mop that has just layers of dust. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna put my 30 days notice, because look at that. That's what you're cleaning with. I'm sorry, I want nothing to do with you guys. And that's happened a lot. So we want to avoid that. And you know, and when you see other professional cleaning companies, one of the things that they emphasize is in that janitor closet, and we're no different. And we'll be making some updates as well. There's going to be literature and posters we're going to be putting in the janitor closets in the next coming months, and we'll talk about that very briefly about obviously the color coordinated rags and microfiber rags and what they're used for. All right, so janitor closet. So let's go to our next point. Before I continue with workflow, I'll be very quick with this, because again, a lot of this, everybody here has received the training. We've talked about this a lot of times. So I don't intend to keep you guys long with this specifically. Does anybody have a question before I continue? You can unmute your phone, ask the question. If not, I'll continue. All right, guys, so I'm going to continue. So workflow. So this is some basic steps. A lot of times we, as district managers, one of the things we hear a lot, I don't make enough money. And you hear that a lot. Oh, I spend too much time in this facility. And I'll be honest, maybe 8 times out of 10, let's be fair, maybe 7, it's no workflow. There's not a workflow established in that account. With that said, a lot of you guys, when, not a lot of you, everybody received the brood barrel with the skirt and all the chemicals. One of the first things we teach all the franchisees, the first thing you always do is get ready. That's step number 1, always. You'll see, I've seen cleaners in locations that they'll have the liner, a big bag they're putting, and then they're going back and sweeping, and then they're going back and putting trash, and then they'll see something and go get the vacuum. And when you really observe their workflow, they're going back and forth to the janitor closet 10, 15 times a night, and you already spent 15 minutes of labor just going back and forth for not getting ready, not having all your equipment. That's why it's also very important to have all your equipment, because if you have a vacuum cleaner that's not maintained, then you're going to spend more time vacuuming. All these things are very important, because why? Because that's how you reduce labor. And that's one of the main issues at times where franchise owners don't make enough money. It's because they'll have a cleaner on site and they just spend too much time going back and forward, and obviously losing time in that. So the workflow is very important. I want to see if I can pull an image here really quickly. And it's regarding to the workflow. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of you receive a card. It's like a card, and this card has it'll say restroom, it'll say classroom, office space. Oh, here we go. I found it. There we go. This is a card that we give away, and this card will give you step by step on how to address the cleaning in a restroom, and not only the cleaning, having a workflow. Again, a lot of this for you guys is old news. You've been doing this maybe longer than I have, but it's really important just to reiterate these things and to make this, because just following some simple steps, you can make sure that you're not missing anything when you do your account. For example, a restroom, obviously the first thing you always have to have in your accounts is wear floor signs. Avoid lawsuit with that. This is very important to protect us and yourself. We always go from dry to wet. So obviously replenishing dispensers, trash, dusting. And then once we're done with those items, we go to the wet. We'll start cleaning the sinks, partitions, toilets, and obviously in the end, we always leave them up for the end. Having a correct workflow helps you, one, making sure you're addressing all your items per the scope of work. Second of all, you have a flow and you're working smart, and then you're not wasting time. Because in the end, time is money, and you may feel 10 minutes here and there, it's not really a big deal. It actually is. You multiply 10 by the accounts that you have, plus times 5 times a week, times 4 weeks, times 12 months, and when you add, it's going to be a lot of hours that you're losing in in labor, and then you're losing in money. So it's very crucial that we have a good workflow to obviously to make sure all items are addressed, and to as well to save money. Let's continue this. So now we're moving to sanitization and disinfection. So Alexis, is your okay? Okay, no problem. I'll reach out to her. No problem. So I'm gonna leave here Alexis, and he will go over the next following steps.
Okay. Hello again, guys. Thank you for being here. So to make a difference between cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, sterilize is very simple, but also is very important because, like Anel said in the beginning, now everybody is an expert in cleaning and disinfecting, especially our customers. So cleaning, the definition of cleaning is just removing dirt. And when you remove dirt, obviously you remove also impurities and germs. Sanitizing is, and this is the clue, reducing the amount of germs in a surface. Reducing. But sanitizing does not do anything against virus. So disinfecting is killing, not reducing, killing the germs, the virus in a surface. But disinfecting not necessarily kill the spores. The spores are the agents that are the resistant against the disinfection, and also the spores are responsible to make the bacteria multiply, or the germs multiply. So not all disinfectants kill the spores. They kill the germs, the virus, the bacteria, but not the spores. Sterilizing is killing everything, including the spores. So basically, the difference between sanitizing is reducing germs, but not killing virus. Disinfecting is killing germs and virus. Sterilizing, excuse me, is killing germs, virus, and spores. Okay? Any questions regarding that? Okay, let's continue then. I'm sorry, this is another computer. Here it is. Anel, I need your help because I messed up your computer, and it's on record because it's recording.
Sí, da un momentito. I'm sorry, guys. So where we at?
I was trying to get to the next slide.
Oh, next slide. Okay, perfect.
Where you have it?
Right here.
Oh,
so just,
right there.
Just hit it here.
Yeah.
And next slide. There you go.
I was trying to use that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the next item is that we want to emphasize is the color-coded rags for cleaning. So to avoid cross-contamination, it's very simple. The red cloth, use it only for the restroom. That's disinfection. The blue one, use it for glass cleaning, and green surfaces, skin contact, and yellow general purposes like polishing or doing something else. But the important thing is that the red one, use it for the restroom, and that's it. And we're telling the customer this, and the reason for this is avoiding cross-contamination, okay? Safety first. As you may know, all disinfectants have toxic and poison to kill the bacteria and germs. So it can be harmful for the human health. So that's the reason of the PPE. So, and also when you enter a facility, may be contaminated. For example, you know, the influenza can stay in a surface for 8 hours. And if you are wiping down without glove, you can get the influenza for yourself. So we don't want that. That's why we are suggesting to wear a glove at all times when you're in a facility. okay? And some products requires more PPE, personal protection equipment, than others. So it is your responsibility to read the label, read the SDS to make sure you are wearing the proper PPE for using X chemical, X disinfectant, okay? Let's go to the next one here.
Yeah, right there.
So the most common practice that I have seen in my life in the cleaning industry is that people used to spray the surfaces. And let me tell you this, the only surface that you spray directly are the restroom fixtures, because you need to let the chemical duel from 5 to 10 minutes to complete disinfection. But there's no other surfaces that you spray directly. And this is the reason. First, you can stain the surface. That's why you spray the rag and not the surface. And the second reason is if you are always spraying the surfaces, those particles have, some of those particles will be floating in the air and you will be breathing that chemical. So if you are 30 minutes spraying, wiping, spraying and wiping, you may end up intoxicated. And we want to avoid that. That's why the two main reasons you don't spray directly to the surface unless is the restroom fixtures for disinfection, okay? And also, I see also people, when you have a big account that you have a lot of trash cans, you get tired doing that because you're not bending your knees, you're using only your back, and at the end of taking all the trash, you are hurting yourself. So proper posture is important to take care of that thing.
Yeah, I wanted to, I highlighted, everybody, I highlighted
labeling.
Labeling. This also will be something we're going to be looking at when we go into the facilities. As you all may or may not know, if for not using proper labels, customers can even be fined.
It's an OSHA violation.
It's an OSHA violation, and they can be fined for anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Per occurrence.
So this is a no-no for us. This can lead to an immediate termination in any of our accounts. So something we're going to be more strict when we do our inspections and we check those janitor closets. We want to ensure everything is labeled, and obviously that each label has an SDS accompanied in that janitor closet.
Or in the logbook.
Or in the logbook as well. Those are the two main areas. So I highlighted that because in my walkthroughs, I've seen a lot of places where there's no labels for an account.
With markers.
If you have issues getting labels, again, call Alexis, call me. We're here to help you guys. So everything we're asking that you guys to be more, have more attention on are things that we are going to help you. If you feel like you don't know where to get the labels or anything of that we've been discussing, if you have any issues with that, please feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help you guys to accomplish and be, and be compliant with all these items.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No problem.
So, because we don't know all the chemicals that you are using in a certain facility, it is important that whatever chemical you're using, you go to the internet and print the SDS so it can be put in the logbook. And if you can't do that, we can help with that too. So let us know the chemicals that you are using in specific accounts. So the SDS of those chemicals are placed in the communication logbook. Want to say something?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Perfect. And no experimentation. Do not mix chemicals.
Yeah, don't do that. So
that's actually going to be our last one.
This is the last one, and high touch point areas. So our company has been communicating with customers and non-customers and doing a lot of surveys to address this issue. You know that because bacteria or germs or virus can stay in the surface certain amount of period of time, another person can get contagious because of that. So in the scope of work that we are implementing now, that the difference is basically how many times per week we're disinfecting these high touch point areas, it is important that we get used to this. Some of the areas we already clean or wipe down, not necessarily with hospital grade disinfectant, but we are wiping them down. But as you can see in your phones or in your computers, we place a list of high point touch areas that I'm not going to read them all. But for example, one thing that is not part of our current scope of work is disinfecting the doorknobs, light switches, HVAC or AC controls, uh, conference room, TV control remote. All those details are there. So we are telling the customers, this is our new scope, and this is the high touch point areas that are going to be disinfected this amount of times per week. So therefore, we have to know this, and you don't have to memorize it. There's a scope of work in the logbook that you should read at least once a week. Don't work by memory, because we are imperfect. So at least you or your staff read that scope of work once a week, and it will help you like a checklist. The daily tasks are there to make sure you're completed. The weekly tasks are there to make sure you are doing it, and also the monthly tasks. So that's all for us for now. I don't know if anyone have a question or you have something else to add.
Yes, right now we'll take any questions that you guys may have. I know we went through a lot. Again, a lot of this, it's not new for any of you. A lot of you here, I know, very experienced and very dependable franchise owners, and we thank you for that. But we do want to take questions. So floor is open. Anybody has a question? Or if they don't want to ask right now, you can call me individually to Alexis or myself, or send us an email. Yes, because we don't want to get 10 phone calls at the same time. Yeah, shoot us an email with questions, maybe concerns, maybe something that you may not have understand. Again, we will be, as we move forward, we'll be going into more detail as to what we've talked today. But it's very important. I'm going to be sending an email with the list of attachments of all the items we've been touching today, so that we are clear on that and you have it with you. So before I end the call, I do want to confirm our participants, because you will be sent this paper here that I actually this document, that I viewed earlier. So pretty much this document, it goes over every item that we've discussed today. I'm going to be sending it via Adobe Sign. So because we do need an acknowledgement that we discussed these items today. So again, everything that's here, we've discussed it. We have gone through it. If you feel you didn't understand any of these points before signing, again, give us a call. We'll go over them with more detail, so you fully understand. But we will need you guys to acknowledge and sign this document that we went over these items. So everybody will receive this at some point in between today and
Next week.
Yeah, and next week. As you saw us going back and forth, we also wanted to apologize for that. Our job never ends, even though maybe we're doing a live training. We continuously get calls, and it's but you guys know, a lot of you guys maybe go through the same thing as us. So you'll be sent this. Sign it, acknowledge it. If you have questions about it, call us. Thank you all for your time. We really appreciate. I know a lot of you are busy. I'm getting ready to start doing some of your accounts. So we thank you for your time. I just want to confirm our participants for today. I have Victor from Tampa. I have Virgen from Tampa. I have James Arbello from Tampa. I have Leila Marulanda from Miami. I have Marcel from Orlando. I have Slajana. I saw Slajana earlier from Tampa. And then from here, I see Ricardi from Miami. And then who else do I see here? Is there anybody that I did not mention? Please unmute your phone. Let me know. I want to make sure, because this is
Kevin from Miami.
Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hey.
Hey, Miami. I'm going to be there next week, so I'll be seeing you.
Okay.
Sure. All right. So I got Kevin Ricardi from Miami, Slajana from Tampa, Marcel from Orlando, Leila from Miami, James, Virgen, and Victor from Tampa. Anybody that I missed? Please speak now. Forever hold your peace. So from that, I understand that we've went. I called everybody participating today. Anybody before we end this meeting? And I do want to thank Tiffany. She's our, let me see if I get your title correct, our franchise. If you want to mute and just before I mispronounced your
Franchise Development Manager.
Yeah, there you go, Franchise Development Manager. We will be sending another invite. She's going to be helping us greatly with obviously the financial aspect of our obviously our operation. We'll go more into detail on that, and we have a lot of good news moving forward. So you'll be seeing some invites from some other training that we'll be doing. We're going to keep it short, short for you guys, but I just wanted to say thank you for your time. And again, if you have any questions, something was not clear or misunderstood, please feel free to call to me or Alexis. So with that said, thank you so much.
Bye now.
Bye, and sorry for the craziness earlier, but we appreciate you guys being with us. Take care and have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.
Oh, you're recording. Remember.